Well, it's good to be back with you and bring you another update from the council on some of our summer activities over the last couple of months. We've been active through the summer. Summer's a big budgetary planning time, so we've been working that process and as part of what we'll be adopting a budget as we go into the fall. So a little bit of work there. First off, though, I'd like to just say I think council would want to say thank you to all of our public servant folks, fire, police, our parks department, everyone who's out in the heat, water, wastewater, out there working on the front lines during this summer period where we're in excess of 100 degrees and it's definitely not comfortable being out there. Thank you for keeping our services going and watching over our community during the hot weather. So thank you very much for that service. Speaking of hot, we hope you enjoyed the Freedom Fest, our 4th of July celebration. Again, thank you to staff for putting on such a great event and for really all the staff involvement. Many volunteered that day of, and for staff who put it together. Just want to thank our crew for bringing that event to the community, bringing outside vendors to us, and something the community could enjoy and rally around as we celebrated our patriotism in Sanger. So look forward for another event like that next year. I'm told that the date will be June 29th next year, so if you already want to mark your calendar, go ahead and do so. There's some good details coming, and stay tuned for that. So, but again, thank you to staff, thank you for the community for coming out and supporting the event, and just was a wonderful event, so thank you for that. During the summer, one of the things we've done, we got to swear in our interim chief, Tyson Cheek. I would like to welcome the chief into his new role here and look forward to great things there, and we're excited about having him in that position. We did also reappoint several of our boards. Again, a special thank you to those who volunteer on our boards and help with the running of those boards, and it just makes the city run well when we have great volunteers that are willing to spend your time and invest in your community to provide that service. So I appreciate those who have served for years. I appreciate those new ones that are going on the boards for volunteering. Speaking of volunteering, we are still looking for some Parks Board volunteers to go on our Park and Recreation Board. So if you want to put in an application for that, we would be happy to receive that and consider you for that board as we're trying to look to fill that. So we do try to put people on boards they request. So we want to not place anybody where they don't want to serve. So we're looking for somebody who's interested in parks and recreation and has a heart for that. So would entertain putting some service in there. Again, thank you to all of our volunteers for being in the positions in which you serve for us. You will notice as we go into the summer months now that we are kicking off our street rehab program. Council voted and funded that, and it's a part of our ongoing multi-year process where we're trying to pick different segments of the town to make those improvements on. It obviously takes some time to march our way through and around the core part of town, so we're aware that there are still places that will need work, but we do have our current segment that's in our multi-year plan underway. So I want to say thank you for the street department for coordinating that, and thank you to council for funding that. And as we make those incremental improvements, hopefully you as the citizens will enjoy that. So, and again, bear with us. If we had a huge checkbook, we would do more faster. We're doing as much as we feel like we can prudently do there at the moment. So thank you for that. But be looking for those updates and changes. There's a lot of blocking and tackling that we do as a council that's not very fancy or maybe notable, but is very important for consistent services that we provide you as citizens. Just an example of one thing that we normally wouldn't necessarily report on, but we did approve the purchase of generators at multiple critical sites for us so that we can continue to provide you service during disruptive periods. So we're always trying to plan for those type of outings or weather concerns, whatever it may be, so that we can continue to come to bear when you need us most. Part of having those generators in place is to improve that service when most needed. So council's forward looking and always trying to prepare for those type of items. And again, it's a pretty basic blocking and tackling job of the council, and one that's not got a lot of fancy bells and whistles with it, but if we didn't do it, we couldn't provide consistent service. So we're always looking at doing those things. There's a lot of things I don't report in this report that we do routinely as a council, and that's just give you a flavor of one. We did issue some bonds recently for the purchase of some additional property that has municipal purposes behind it, potentially a future wastewater site, maybe a water facility site, parks, various infrastructure. So we're going to be doing some planning around that site, and we did have to issue some bonds, but council took a very forward-looking approach to step out and get ahead of the curve on some of our future infrastructure needs with that purchase. So glad to report that. And again, it's a stretch for us as council, but we want to be prepared in the future as we go forward. Again, thank you to all our workers during this difficult heat environment, and we thank you for your service. Thank you to all of our constituents who are out there working, volunteering for us. Again, thank you for all that you do for us. Council greatly appreciates our constituents and looks to serve you as best we can. Thank you.